Greetings, my name is Kevin Andrew, and today I'm playing Outrun 2 on the Xbox. Why am I playing it on the Xbox? Well, for Outrun 2, the original Outrun 2, you basically had two options. The arcade and the Xbox. It was an Xbox exclusive for a couple of years until they released the 2006 Coast to Coast iteration of Outrun 2. And so I'm playing the Xbox version because I had my Xbox plugged in, and that's what I'm doing. So this game came out in December 18th, 2003. That was when it was released in the arcade and then came out a year later on October 25th, 2004 in North America, and then 3 months later in Japan. So this game is not a spring chicken. It's a few years old. It's 12 years old. And the original Outrun, we are celebrating the original Outrun's 30th birthday this week. So these games are kind of up there in age, but they're classics. So I'm going to jump right in. And the first thing that we are going to do when we get into Outrun, I'm just going to play the arcade mode, is pick our car. Now, the original game only had one car. It had the Ferrari Testarossa, but Sega didn't have a Ferrari license. They just had kind of a likeness of the Testarossa. This game has, as you can tell, quite a few official Ferraris, which became a problem later on. This game was not this exact iteration of it, but Outrun, I think it was Outrun Online or something of that nature, was put on PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, and it was put on the PlayStation Network and Xbox 360 Live Arcade, and it had to be pulled from those networks because the Ferrari the Ferrari license expired, and it had to be pulled. So apparently it's an expensive license, and Sega didn't want to keep paying for it if they weren't making money off the game. So it's no longer on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, which I think is a shame. Just sort of a good argument for owning physical copies of games, right? So I'm going to jump right in and start playing. We get to choose our music. I've always been a fan of Music 4. So I'm choosing Music 4. And as you can tell, if you're familiar with the first game, this has the same layout. You race across one side of Europe to the other. Now, the original game was restricted just to Europe, I believe. This absolutely has Egypt in it at some point, and I'm pretty sure last time I checked, Egypt is not in Europe. So it takes place in that area of the world. The 2006 version of the game, it was set in the United States, so you race across the United States, which is interesting because Outrun was based off of a movie, or the inspiration for Outrun was a movie called Cannonball Run that came out in came out in 1981. Yu Suzuki, the director of the game, who is a legendary director, he used that movie, which apparently was very successful at the box office, as inspiration for Outrun. The premise of the movie was a race across the country, get from one side of the country to the other by any means necessary, and that's exactly what this is. You get to choose what route you're going to take. So at points during the game, the road will split, and you can take either the left track or you can take the right track. And the left track is usually easier than the right track. So I'm not great at Outrun, so I'm going to be going on the left track more than I'm going on the right track. So if I go on the right track on this playthrough, oh man, I'm not doing well now. If I go on the right track on this playthrough, it's because I messed up and was either not paying attention because I was talking to you, or a car bumped me and I didn't make it to the place where I was supposed to be. Now, you'll see that I am not in a position like first, second, third. Oh no, I'm running off track. This game is not a racing game. This is a driving game. Yu Suzuki, I believe, stated that at some point that Outrun is not a racing game, it's a driving game, and Outrun 2 continues that. It is not. You're not racing for position. You're racing to get from checkpoint to checkpoint. Just racing to get across the country, or get across Europe in this case, or get across wherever we are. Obviously, if you're in Egypt, you are in Africa. But anyway, so we are getting from one side to the other any means necessary, and that means going to the left each time. Now, this game incorporated a new technique that was not in the original game, which is a power slide technique. The original game, Outrun, you basically had your gas and you had your brake, and you had to just finagle your gas and your brake to get around the track as best you could. This game has a power slide technique and can be a little tricky because when you use the power slide, you slow down a pretty good bit, and you ultimately don't want to use your power slide unless you have to. It's not like Mario Kart where you get a boost if you power slide around the turns. Power sliding is not that beneficial. You're almost better off just slowing down and not sliding around the turns in this game. So it adds a certain level of depth that other arcade racing games don't always have. Speaking of other arcade racing games, this game, Outrun 2, oh boy, this is bad. I may not finish the race now. Outrun 2 came out around the same time that Burnout 3 did, and when they were launched, I have got to say I preferred Burnout 3 to Outrun, and they were compared a lot, and a lot of people did not agree. A lot of people said Outrun is way better than Burnout, and I have to say, 12 years later, I agree with those people. This game has aged significantly better than Burnout, in my opinion. I still enjoy Burnout every once in a while, but Outrun versus Burnout, this is a classic. This is absolutely a classic, and yeah, I think it's aged a little bit better. So here we are, we're in the last portion of the game on easy. The game level, actually, I have it set to normal, but I went to the left every time, so that's sort of the equivalent of taking the easy path. One thing I enjoyed about the Xbox version of this game, of the original Outrun 2 instead of the 2006 edition, is I think it's got better shading, and I feel like the graphics in general are better than the 2006 Outrun 2, because 2006 Outrun 2 was launched on pretty much every console. It was on PS2. My nose is itchy. I apologize. I'm not picking my nose. It was launched on PS2 and PC, Xbox, and I'm pretty sure they had to put the game on PlayStation 2 and then port it to the other platforms for it to work properly. So even the PC game running at 1080p has inferior shadows and compared to this. I don't know. There's just something about this that just looks nicer than that version of the game. So in the original Outrun, you had a girlfriend in the car with you, and in this game, you bring your girlfriend along too, but she is not nice in this game. She is not nice in Outrun 2. She, as you could tell, I don't know. She's just not very nice. And if you lose, like if you get a game over, she just sits there and beats you over the head. And, oh, I got third place. Look at that. I'm going to put my name in. Not actually my name, my initials. I'm putting my initials in. And I'm going to do one more playthrough on not hard. I'm going to go to the right. I'm going to travel to the right. Loading screen. And here we are. Now this Xbox Outrun 2 had a challenge mode and various ways of playing. I kind of prefer just doing the arcade game mode to the other modes that you could choose. So I'm going to choose manual transmission. I'm going to go with the Testarossa because that was what was in the original game, and that's what I'm playing with now. So you have the heart attack mode, which I believe you try to keep your girlfriend happy by doing different things like power sliding around certain turns or passing so many cars or whatever. And what I'm going to do, Outrun mode, I'm going to choose a different track. I believe track number 1 is the traditional Outrun song. Hopefully I can finish by going to the right. Going to the right is pretty challenging, and there's a good chance that I will not be able to make it. Vroom, Oh, I just noticed that it had there was an AMD advertisement back there. It's interesting. I wonder why. Are these other advertisements? Those a shell? Wow, these are real advertisements. Huh. I've never noticed that before. I wonder if those were just partners or if they... Man, I'm terribly curious about that now. All those advertisements. Olympus and Shell and AMD and whoever else. Bridgestone. Okay, I'm not going to... I tend to hit that wall a lot when I'm playing this game, and I tend to flip my car over right there. Hit the cone. Almost got it. Okay, so we're going to Alpine. You can tell over at the top right of the screen it tells where I'm heading, so I'm going to Alpine. Yeah, this looks fairly Alpine-ish. Alpine-y. Alpine-y. And more advertisements. So like I said earlier when I was talking about power sliding, you don't want to power slide unless you have to, because it tends to slow your car down a little bit more than you probably want it to. So if you can just let off the gas and, well, don't do that, don't hit the wall. Let off the gas and make your way around the turns without hitting, like going into a power slide. It probably does you a little bit better. But there are just some turns that you're better off power sliding around. Like, I'm pretty sure I would not have been able to have made it around that turn without power sliding. Doing pretty well so far. Doing reasonably well. One thing that I think is interesting about Outrun 2 versus the first game is that in the first game, one of the things that set Outrun apart from its competitors was its low camera angle and the fact that the game had hills. A lot of games at the time were either a top-down view or the camera angle was really high above the car, and it had hills. Now this Outrun 2 has hills, but the camera angle has much more variety than in Outrun 1. So it goes up and down depending on the terrain. Oh no, this is not good. This is very bad. What are you doing? Ruh-roh. Did she hit me? Did my girlfriend hit me? Sometimes when I do stuff like that, she gets very unhappy and hits me. I don't think I'm going to finish this run. Well, I'm going to finish it. I will get the game over. You know what? I'm going to not go to the right this time. I'm going to go to the left. Because I'm just not doing well going to the right. And that's what's kind of neat about this. I may not even make it to the checkpoint. Oh no! Run! Go! Go, go, go! Get there, get there, get there! Oh my goodness! Whoa, that was close. Okay, so we went from the desert to the snowy... Uh-oh, uh-oh. It is snowy here. It's definitely snowy. I wonder how I was able to go so quickly from one extreme climate to the other. And I didn't see where this was. I didn't see the name of the track. This part of the track's really fun. I'm having a lot of fun. Oh, here's an S-turn. These S-turns are a little tricky because you have to change the trajectory of your power slide. Trajectory. I don't think I want to make this. This is going to be so close. Go, little car. Go, little Testarossa. Go! Nope. Oh, it was right there. Oh, it was so close. See, she's beating me up. She is beating me up. She is not a nice person. Anyway. So, oh, that was the last section of the track too. That was the last area. Anyway, game over. So that's where I'm going to finish up. That's where I'm going to end this video, and hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. Check out Outrun 2. It's a lot of fun. And anyway, until next time, I will talk to you later.